So in last video we had discussed about correlation and types of correlation. Now we'll be discussing about methods of studying correlation. So there are many methods for studying correlation, but here we'll be only studying three methods. The scatter diagram method, Karl-Pearson coefficient of correlation, and rank method. Rank method is also called as a Spearman correlation method. Now first one, scatter diagram method. This is the most simple and easiest method to compare bivariate data. It is only used for comparing bivariate data. That is whenever we have only two variables x and y. So now if after plotting, if we are getting a straight line, okay, so after plotting if we are getting this straight line, it is called as a perfectly positive correlation, because with increase in x, y is also increasing and we are getting a perfect straight line. So it is called as a perfect positive correlation. Second one, perfect negative correlation. Here with increase in x, y is decreasing, but it is decreasing in a perfect manner with constant change. So it is called as a perfect negative correlation. Now next one, that is low degree of positive correlation. Here we are getting positive correlation. They are densely related. Here, but the problem here is they are not in perfect straight line. They are scattered. With increase in x, y is also increasing. In all these cases, as x is increasing, value of y are also increasing. So they are positively correlated, but they are not in perfect one line. They are scattered around. So it is low degree of positive correlation. Similarly, next, low degree of negative correlation. Now here again with increase in x, y is decreasing, okay, but again they are scattered. These points are scattered around. Even though they are decreasing, they are scattered around. So it is called as a low degree of negative correlation. Okay. Coming to the next one, high degree of positive correlation. Here again with increase in x, y is also increasing, but here they are densely related. So it is called as a, see, these points are densely related, so it is called as a high degree of positive correlation. Similarly, for the last one, high degree of negative correlation, with increase in x, y is decreasing, but they are densely related to each other, so it is called as a high degree of negative correlation. And if there is no particular pattern, if it is neither positive or nor negative, then it is called as no correlation. So if all the points are scattered all over, then there is no correlation in between the variables. So let's move on to Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. It is also called as a covariance method. It is one of the mostly used method for measuring the intensity or magnitude of linear relationship between two variables. Now here also again we can compare two variables at a time. It is denoted by r of x comma y, or we can even simply write it as r x comma y. Now the formula is given as covariance of xy upon sigma x into sigma y, that is standard deviation. Now if we have n observation, like suppose we have this n observation, x1, y1, x2, y2 till xn, yn. Suppose we have these n pairs of observation of variables x and y, then covariance of xy is given as 1 upon n summation of x minus x bar into y minus y bar. It is product of deviations of x and y. Next, standard deviation. It is square root of summation of squares of deviation upon n, that is average of squares of deviation. Again same for y, it is 1 upon square root of 1 upon n summation of y minus y bar whole square, that is squares of deviation, average of square of deviation. Let's discuss this example of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. So here we have to find Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, and these are the two variables given, x and y. So let's write first formula of Karl Pearson's coefficient. It is denoted by R. It is covariance of x comma y upon sigma x into sigma y, that is standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. Now first thing is covariance. So covariance of x and y is given as 1 upon n summation of x minus x bar into y minus y bar, that is products of deviation. Next sigma x, it is standard deviation, is given as root of 1 upon n summation of squares of deviation. Again similarly for y, that is root of 1 upon n summation of squares of deviations of variable y. Okay, so first what we need is, first we'll start with covariance. So what we need is x bar, that is mean of x, and y bar, mean of y. So first thing we have to calculate this x and y. So if we are calculating this, what we are getting here is 30, and after calculating this we are getting is 40. So x bar is summation of x upon n. This is going to be 30 upon 5. So x bar is nothing but 6. Then y bar, mean of y, is summation of y upon n, is 40 upon 5. So what we are getting is 8. So mean of variable x is 6 and mean of variable y is 8. So next is, need to find x minus x bar, it is deviation of x with respect to mean of x and deviation of y with respect to mean of y. So we need to find x minus x bar and y minus y bar. So our x bar is 6. First will be 0, 6 minus 6, 6 minus 6, x minus x bar 0. Next is 2 minus 6, it is minus 4, 10 minus 6 plus 4, 4 minus 6 minus 2, and 8 minus 6, that is plus 2. Next y minus y bar, 9 minus 8, 1, 11 minus 8, 3, 5 minus 8, minus 3, 8 minus 8, 0, and last one is 7 minus 8, that is minus 1. Okay. So for covariance we need summation of product of this deviations. So we have to multiply these deviations. We have to multiply x minus x bar with y minus y bar. So just multiply this. This will be 0, minus 12, minus 12, 0, and minus 2. So after adding this, what we are getting is minus 26. So if I substitute this back in formula of covariance, so covariance of xy is 1 upon n, that is n is 6, n is 5, there are 5 observations, and summation of product of deviation is nothing but minus 26. Okay. Now next, we have to find standard deviation. So for standard deviation, we need summation of squares of deviation. Let's find first squares of deviation. We have deviations here, so we have to find squares of this now. So first, x minus x bar square and then y minus y bar whole square. So square of deviation, this will be 0, 16, 16, 4 and 4. So the total here is nothing but 40. Next, squares of this y minus y bar, 1, 9, 9, 0 and 1. So here what we are getting is 20. So again, after substituting back, standard deviation of x, root of 1 upon 5 into summation of x minus x bar, that is 40. So after dividing, this is going to be root of 8 and summation of, standard deviation of y is 1 upon 5 and summation of y minus y bar whole square, that is 20. Summation of y minus y bar whole square, that is 20. That is also I am substituting here. Okay. So again, sigma y is going to be nothing but 4. Sigma x is root of 8. So after dividing this, what we are getting is minus 5.2. Now let's substitute this back in covariance formula. So I am just writing it here itself. So covariance of x comma y, what we are getting is minus 5.2. So this is minus 5.2 upon standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So standard deviation of x is root 8, which can be written as 2 root 2, and standard deviation of y can be written as 2. So here we have 2 root 2 multiplied by 2, so which can be further written as 4 root 2. Okay, and after dividing this, what you will get is minus 0.92. So Karl-Pearson coefficient for variable x comma y is nothing but minus 0.92.